Hey YouTube, TrueTube here. Tonight I am making straight up pork chops with homemade garlic bread from the bread maker. First things first, I already have my chops out, heating to room temperature, dry it off. Grab yourself some butter. You can do this part first. That way this can sit for a while. And just soften it. You don't want it to separate, you want to soften it. And of course I'm going to do everything in the air fryer. I'm just going to give this a couple minutes. There we go, just like that. And while that's doing that, I'm going to find myself a pair of tongs. Because I know I have about 3-4 pair around here somewhere. And my favorite ones are clean. Even though they look horrible because they've been burnt so many times. So make sure it's nice and dry. Set that there, that way you can just clean that up later and not worry about it. First things first, we're going to salt these. Actually, I'm just going to use a little bit of just sea salt. And I'm going to do a light coat. I'm not going to do a heavy coat, and you'll find out why in just a minute. Okay, here we go. Now, I'm going to use this seasoning right here. Alright? What this is, even though it says thyme, it is thyme and oregano and celery, well, a little celery seed, and I put them in a mortar and pestle, and of course I turned them into a powder so they weren't like eating little sticks. Then I put a little bit of garlic, granulated garlic, a little bit of granulated onion, and a little bit of white pepper. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure it's completely mixed up, and carefully sprinkle this because it doesn't have a thing on it. So I'm just gonna give them a light season so I don't get shit everywhere. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with the next side. And I'm gonna let my butter continue to just, you want to check it every minute or so. I only have it on, I think, on 250. It's slightly softening up. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to get this done and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Butter is done. See, it's not separated. It's a little softer than I wanted it, but that's alright. All I did was, see, it's not separated though. It's all still together. I just cut this up because it was still a nice thing and just keep mixing it in like so. Now, all we're going to do is get some minced garlic, whether it's pre-packaged or you have your own garlic. And then, depending on how strong you like it, actually, I think I'm going to dump it in there. Big old plop of it. Yeah, that should definitely be good. Alright. Just like that. I don't know if you can see, I want to make sure you can see it. Okay? Now, we are going to take some, well, first off, we're going to use a little bit of salt to enhance it, not too much, because this is salted butter too. So you just want a little sprinkle of that. And oregano. A nice dab. Let's see, it's already starting to cool down into a paste. Of course, my garlic was just taken out of the fridge, so that would be the reason why. Okay, and now let's mix that up real good. Now, if you want to, you can try this, but I'm not too fond of eating butter, even though it looks like I do. There we go, just like that. See? So we're going to take this, put it somewhere where the dog won't get into it or somebody won't knock it over. And just put away a couple things here, and we're going to let that sit, and that butter and that garlic flavor meld. And we're going to take our chops, and we're going to throw them in the air fryer. Not sure if both will fit on here or not. They should, but that doesn't mean they will. I'm going to put them on the bottom rack, okay? And then I'm going going to cook them at 400, and I'm going to check them in about 9 minutes. All right, so I'm going to clean up this little bits of stuff, and I'll be back in just a couple minutes. Okay, it's been 9 minutes. I can pretty much say that I don't think this is even anywhere remotely near cooked. But I've never cooked on this, and I wanted to take a peek at it. Yep. All right. Oh, actually, I'll look at the bottom too, because I want to make sure. Okay. Now I gotta wipe everything up. So I'm gonna take this, and I'm gonna start it back up at 400. This time I'm gonna go 7 minutes, and I am going to use the meat probe to check the temp of it, because I sometimes get the temp on that wrong. So I'm going to take out human error and use meat thermometer. I'll be back in a couple minutes. Okay, back. Looking good. Fairly sure they're not quite done yet, because I can still see some pink and red coming out of them. But I am going to check, because I don't want to overcook them. No. Okay, guess what? I was wrong. They're done. Now what I am going to do real quick is I'm going to put this right up at the top. And I'm going to put it at 400 literally for just 1 minute. And while that's going, on, I'm going to cut my bread up into slices. And you can cut them over how thick or however thin you want. I can wash that. So I will be back in just a minute, because we want to get, while the pork chops are resting, we want to get our bread done. Okay, chops are done. I got my bread cut. Oops. And I'm getting stuff everywhere, but that's the way I am. Okay. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. I know they're cooked through. I know they're not dry. Oops. And I know I'm dripping grease on the floor, and I better clean it up before dog gets to it. So I'm going to set this over here where nobody can get to it. So if you don't, leave it alone. Don't. Okay, I guess I didn't get any on the grit floor. Now, I'm going to take one of my clean ones. And set that right there just for now. Oh, this is cold. I don't need to. Okay. Now, this part's... yeah. I'm not, when it comes to kitchen, I always screwing stuff up. I'll put these in however you want. Actually, I'm going to put that, well, that'll burn real fast. This is just the, from the 1.5 pound, and then we just, and you do however much you want, because this is how garlicky and buttery you want. If you want not so much butter, but more garlic taste, all you do is get yourself granulated garlic powder, put it on top. So I'm just, whoops, I think that's way too much. I am going to cook these a little slower so the butter doesn't burn and flicker all over the place and make a mess inside. And since I have tin foil on the bottom shelf, or the catch pan, drip pan, whatever you like to call it, it's easy to clean. And I mean, it's still clean. All you have to do is wipe it off and put it back in there, and then I don't have to waste that. So I'm going to put that in there. And I'm going to put this, oh, I got to turn it on, at 300. And I'm going to check it in 4 minutes. I know that's not very long. I know it won't even be remotely close to being done. But I don't want it to burn, because there's a lot of butter on it. And that will just ruin it. And I don't want to do that little nub, because I know for a fact that'll burn. So we'll be back in just a couple minutes. Alright, my garlic bread's still going. I just checked it, it's not burning, it's melting nicely. Now I got one of my chops on a plate, and you noticed I tried to, a little where the juice and grease pooled in the middle, I tried not to dump that, because that's flavor. Now this is homemade cranberry sauce, and this is from Thanksgiving, and yes, it's still good. It has been in a glass sealed container in the back of the fridge. The only thing really that preserving it, of course, is the tartness of the cranberries, and there is orange citrus in it. So this homemade stuff lasts a lot longer than the canned stuff does, by a lot. Like I said, this is from Thanksgiving because I made it a Thanksgiving. It just goes in this Pyrex container, and I slide it in the back of the fridge where it's colder. So now all we're doing is waiting on our garlic bread. Okay, that's coming out nicely. And then this will be a nice meal. Oh, I'm gonna get this crap cleaned up, and then I won't make you sit there and watch me stare at the bread to see if it's done yet, because that's what I want to try the most. Okay, I'm back, and I'm going to take this, and I'm going to turn this around. It's not quite done yet. I want to get a little crispier, so I'm going to turn it around, just make sure the heat's even out, because sometimes I think it's back here cooks faster than everything else, so you just got to keep an eye on it. Like I said, I'm just going to go at 300 again for about 3 minutes, and I'm just going to keep looking at it. And I'm going to try to remember to use the light button and look in instead of pulling it open, looking at it, and letting the heat out, which would be the smart thing to do. You know, if you're looking, you're not cooking. You know, one of those things. Be back. Back. As you hear, the bread is beeping. Sweet. Now, nice little crust on the bottom. So, this I'm taking out because I don't want it as crispy as these two. And then I'm just going to go 2 more minutes at 325, and I think those will be done. Now, you get your bread as crispy as you want, because you're going to eat it. You're eating it. So, here we go. There we go. All made in the air fryer. Well, except for the cranberry relish, but pork chop and homemade garlic bread made from the 1.5 pound bread maker. All completely done in an air fryer. Everybody have a nice night. Stay safe. Do what you're told. Social distancing. Please like, subscribe, and share. Everybody, take it easy.